Section 4 is a university lecturer addressing his students on the first day of his lecture. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all looking so refreshed after spending the weekend testing the beer in the students' bar. I wonder if any of you discovered the library, but I guess it's far too early for that. It's even better to see we have a full house. I hope you are all here for Environment and Development 101 because, if you are not, then you're in the wrong lecture hall. By the way, my name is John Robinson and I'll be the main lecturer for this course. But we will have some guest lecturers from time to time. And nobody has left. Great. I guess that means you all intend to take this course. Okay. As it says on the notice outside, I'm going to describe the main contents and purposes of the course and hopefully add to the enthusiasm that brought you here today. Does anybody know who Howard Odum was? Right. He is known as the father of ecology. He once said, "Everything is connected to everything else." That statement explains the design of this course. As human knowledge expands, most courses, even first-year courses, get more and more specialized. You learn more and more about less and less. This course is quite different. In the 72 hours of this course, don't forget you get 2 credits instead of the usual 1. We will try to achieve 3 main objectives, namely, we will try to get an understanding of what is happening to planet Earth, why it is happening, and hopefully to find some answers to the many problems that we'll be talking about. The first few lectures will be an overview of the more serious current trends that are of such great concern to not just greenies, meaning environmentalists like myself and organizations like Greenpeace and Friends of the Earth, but also to more and more ordinary people, and even a few politicians and corporate leaders. So, we'll be looking at things like global warming, the loss of in particular tropical forests, persistent organic chemicals known as gender benders, because they can seriously affect the sexual development of animals, desertification, and the serious worldwide problem of overfishing, and the accelerating loss of biodiversity. If humans carry on as they are, some 50% of the world's plant and animal species will be probably extinct by the middle of this century. That's the environment bit. What about development? We'll be thinking a lot about this issue. If the goal of development is to improve the quality of life, which presumably means making people happier, then we have to think about this thing called happiness. In modern times, we have become consumers in the great consumer society. Are we any happier than the Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert in southern Africa? And if common sense tells us that rising sea levels, gender benders and all the other aspects of a worsening environment will sooner or later put a big brake on consumption, why, given the warnings from the great majority of the world scientists, are things in general continuing to get worse? This brings us on to psychology, sociology and of course politics, economics and even philosophy. We won't have time to go into each of these areas in great depth. For our immediate purposes, this is not necessary, because the basic goal is to help us develop a model, a dynamic model, that integrates the main forces leading to environmental degradation, and those opposing forces that promote environmental stewardship. This is a tall order for us to do as individuals, so we'll be divided into teams, and each team will focus on 1 or 2 particular aspects at the same time, integrating the main findings and arguments of the other teams into their work. Well, we have a lot of great work to do. Which means, it's coffee time. Back in 15 minutes. That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. In the IELTS test, you will now have 10 mins to transfer your answers.